What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth, and I am back with you today to show you guys another section of my horror movie collection. Let's do it. Yeah, it's probably too much. Alright, this week we're looking at row 3, section 9, which is that guy right there. I'll get them things pulled and I'll show you what we got. Hope you guys are all doing well and all staying safe. Alright, let's get right into it. It's been like a month or so since I've done one of these, I believe. Alright, kicking things off. We have from After Dark Horror Fest, 8 Films to Die For, Kill Theory. Alright. Get my glasses on because I am blind as a bat. Alright, 7 college students visit a secluded vacation home to celebrate graduation and become trapped in a deadly game by a mysterious killer. Forced to kill one another by 6 a.m. the following morning, only one of them can remain alive. Whoever remains will be allowed to walk away with his or her life. However, if morning comes and more than one are still breathing, everyone dies. Friendly. Friends and couples must test their trust as the clock ticks away. Some will fight for love, some will fight to survive, but all will change because deep down, we're all killers. That sounds absolutely vicious. I probably should watch that. I don't think I ever saw this. I've seen a lot of these 8 Films to Die For After Dark Horror Fest films, but I know I saw all of the first series. I may have seen all of the second series, but this movie does not sound familiar at all to me. I need to check that out. Alright, next up we have a Stephen King 3-pack of made-for-TV movies. The Langoliers, The Stand, and The Golden Years. I've read The Langoliers, never saw this miniseries. I read The Stand, first book I ever read in my life. Read The Stand, did not like the miniseries, and I have never read or seen The Golden Years. So, let's see. Langoliers I know is about a flight where if you're asleep, I don't remember the ins and outs of it. It's been a long time. On a red-eye flight across the country, a small group of passengers awakens mid-journey to discover that they have slipped through a hole in the universe. Unimaginable evil waits if they don't find a way back, and they are literally running out of time. I'm pretty sure people who survived this or people who it had something to do with whether you did or did not fall asleep, if I remember correctly. The Stand, and Stephen King's epic vision of an apocalyptic future. A few survivors of a plague-ravaged world must choose sides in a battle of good versus evil that will decide the fate of humanity. And The Golden Years, after an explosion in a secret government lab exposes an elderly man to mysterious chemicals, he starts to grow younger every day. Is that Benjamin Button? Although he wasn't in an explosion. As he flees ruthless government agents, his incredible physical transformation is only the beginning, and so is the terror. Yeah, I've heard The Golden Years was good. I really did not care for The Stand. I really need to watch the one that they recently did on CBS, which is now Paramount, with Whoopi Goldberg. That looks like it's probably better. And The Langoliers, I have not watched, but I heard it was not good. The book was cool, though. Alright, next up. This is something that I think I watched like the first episode or two when this started, but then I lost pace with it. Kingdom Hospital. Stephen King's Kingdom Hospital. I don't feel like reading all the back of that just because I don't want to. 4-disc set contains all 13 episodes of the critically acclaimed miniseries. Yeah, I'm not reading all that. If you want to read it, there you go. You can pause it. You can read it. Have at it. Alright, next up. King Kong from 1933. I believe Marc of Horror sent me this in a gift box, either for my birthday or I think it was actually for my birthday. I'm pretty positive it was for my birthday. Either way, Marc of Horror sent me this, and there's a whole hell of a lot of reading on the back of that too that I don't feel like reading. But everybody knows what King Kong is. He likes to climb towers and he likes to carry around blonde chicks. King Kong. Alright, next up is another King Kong movie with Jeff Bridges, Charles Grodin, and Jessica Lange. I didn't even know that this one existed. 1976. I heard this was actually pretty good, but I have not seen it. The Big Apple is again besieged by the monstrous King Kong. Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange star in this ambitious remake of the 1933 original. Pardon me? Oh, that was really nasty. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. Which adds a great deal of camp and good fun to the story. Again, the gargantuan ape battles attacking aircraft high above the streets of New York, this time plunging from the top of the World Trade Center to his death. Damn, they just tell you that right in the description. Amidst thousands of horrified onlookers, King Kong won an Oscar for special effects, and the horror and the thrills are brought anew to another generation in this classic and classy production. How the hell did they tell you right on the back of this thing that he falls off of the World Trade Center? That's just bad. I don't like that. All right, next up is another King Kong flick. This is the one with Jack Black in it, right? Yeah, that's it. The one with Jack Black in it. I saw this when it first came out. I thought this was pretty good. Who else is in here? Adrian who the hell is that? Academy Award? Never mind. Directed by Peter Jackson. Academy Award-winning director Peter Jackson brings his sweeping cinematic vision to King Kong. Naomi Watts, Jack Black, and Adrian Brody. That's the name I was trying to remember. Star in this spectacular film filled with heart-pounding action, terrifying creatures, and ground-breaking special effects unlike anything you've seen before. Get ready for breathtaking action in this thrilling epic adventure about the legendary gorilla captured on a treacherous island and brought to civilization, where he faces the ultimate fight for survival. Experience the movie the critics are hailing as a rousing, exciting, cinematic adventure. It was good, but I wasn't crazy about this movie. I liked it, but I think that I will leave it at that. I didn't dislike it. All right, next up, I have not seen this. Kiss of the Damned. I picked this up at the Dollar Tree for $1. It is a magnet release. Let's see. Beautiful Vampire, DGUNA. Is that Juana? I don't care. Tries to resist the advances of the handsome human screenwriter Paulo. P-A-O-L-O. That's Paulo. Because Polo would be weird, but eventually gives in to their passion. When her seductive and highly volatile sister Mimi unexpectedly comes to visit, she threatens Juana, that's terrible, Juana's new relationship, and the whole vampire community becomes endangered. Lord. So what do we got? Paulo, Juana, and Mimi. It's perfectly normal. Smart, stylish, and very sexy. Haven't seen it. Maybe someday. Don't really like vampires. Don't know why. Alright, this was actually really cool. Knock Knock. This was an Eli Roth flick, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it is an Eli Roth movie. These broads, right here, knock on Keanu Reeves' door, asking if they could dry their clothes and use the phone and so on and so forth. And they wind up seducing him, and I don't want to tell you the whole story, but it's pretty darn good. I know that I recognize the brunette from, what was his cannibal movie? The Green Inferno, and she was really good in this. I actually thought she was better in this than she was in the Green Inferno. Green Inferno was really good, though. She was good in both of them. This was really cool. Check it. I don't hear very many people talking about this, and the ones that I do hear about it, half of them didn't even like it. I thought it was quite a good movie. Next up is Kolchak, the Night Stalker. I really need to sit down and watch this. That's the guy from the Ralphie movie. What's that? A Christmas Story. I need to sit down and watch this. I remember this, and the reason that I bought this. When I was a little boy, my father was a corrections officer, and he would sometimes work he was a shift worker, and he would work 3 to 11, and on the nights that Kolchak was on, he would come home from work, and he would sit down and watch Kolchak. I would fight with everything I had in my power to stay awake to see my dad when he got home from work. And I think it was either Friday or Saturday night that Kolchak was on. Whatever night that it was, I would sit up and I would watch Kolchak with my pop. My pop passed away a few years ago, and this is just something that reminds me of him. Awesome. All right, next up is Kong Skull Island. I remember this being pretty cool. I don't remember too many of the details about this, but with the upcoming Kong vs. Godzilla, I really need to sit down and watch this thing again. I saw this in IMAX. Probably my most expensive movie experience of my life. I took my wife and both my kids to see this, and it cost me like $70 to see this damn thing just for the tickets. You know you can't get in there without kids wanting popcorn and all that. Very expensive movie-going experience right there. Next up is Krampus. Everybody has seen Krampus. I love this damn movie. My younger son, he's 13 years old. I think he saw this for the first time when he was either 10 or 11, and he loves this damn thing. Krampus is fantastic. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very well made. There's the girl from Hereditary, Toni Collette, I believe is her name. This movie's awesome, man. If you have not seen Krampus, check this out. It's really, really good. There's a lot of writing on the back that I don't feel like reading. If you want to read it, go ahead, pause it, check it out. But I have to assume that you've all seen Krampus. Next up is something that I have not watched. Krampus 2, was that The Devil Returns? I haven't seen this, and I know eventually I'm going to watch it, but I haven't seen it yet. 5 years after the murder of his wife and disappearance of his daughter, former police officer Jeremy Duffin is brought back to help in the hunt for the Yuletide monster that punishes children that have been naughty. As the monster becomes more erratic and unpredictable, Jeremy learns the truth about the disappearance of his daughter and the fate that has been bestowed upon him by an unlikely source. Can Jeremy finally end the nightmare Christmas monster that has terrorized his town for years? I don't know, man. If you guys have seen any of these other Krampus sequels, let me know if they're any good. I have not watched this, but I know I really need to give it a chance. Alright, and as if that wasn't enough, we have Krampus the Christmas Devil. Wait a minute. Alright, so this is The Devil Returns, and this is the Christmas Devil. So is this part 2, and this thing that's called part 2 actually part 3? Or is this part 1 of a completely different series, and that's the sequel to it? That's what it looks like. That's definitely the same Krampus. Whatever, maybe I got myself all flipped upside down. When Krampus the Christmas Devil visits a small town to punish all of the naughty children, it is up to one police officer to hunt him down before more kids end up murdered by the evil monster. That's what it's got to be. Alright, so yeah, no doubt I don't have them in the right order. That's definitely the first one. That's definitely the second one. And this is a totally different movie. Alright, alright. Horror is so confusing sometimes. All these reboots and remakes and restarts and sequels and all that other shit confuse the crap out of somebody. Alright, here's another one that's confusing. The Lady in Black, not to be confused with the Daniel Radcliffe movie, The Woman in Black. Alright, The Lady in Black. The nightmare is just beginning. Nelson has a vivid memory of a woman being murdered, only to discover that it was actually a premonition and that he had witnessed the beginning of a string of serial murders. Now it's up to him to solve the disturbing mystery. Pursue the serial killer to find out why his dreams are being haunted and ultimately stop them from continuing their bloody killing spree. I don't know. It looks kind of creepy. This is another one of those Dollar Tree movies, as were those other two Krampus movies. Buy a lot of movies at the Dollar Tree. Alright, next up. This is an M. Night Shyamalan movie that I have not watched. The Lady in the Water. And I'm actually quite surprised I haven't watched this, because I really like M. Night Shyamalan movies. I didn't know Paul Giamatti was in this. Bryce Dallas Howard is the other person in this, and I don't even know if I know who that is. Alright, that's a whole lot of writing, but we're going to do it anyway. A story M. Night Shyamalan told his children in the spring is the springboard for his spellbounding plunge into the supernatural. Paul Giamatti plays an apartment manager who finds an otherworldly water myth named Water Nymph. Water Nymph. That could mean something else. Named Story in the pool, then sets out to help her return to her home, the Blue World. It's about to get very dangerous, she warns, and very fascinating because fierce blue world fierce blue world monsters prowl nearby to determine to destroy Story and anyone who aids her, including the apartment dwellers who come to realize that they are players in her tale. Their lives have undiscovered purposes, and how they defy the monsters to fulfill those destinies forms the amazing heart of Discovery in The Lady in the Water. I hope the movie is less confusing than trying to read the back of this. That character's name being Story just made me flub up everything I just read. I felt like there were words missing. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason I haven't watched this. I don't know. Let me know in the comments section if this movie's worth my time or not. I've had this thing for years. I've had this movie. Lenticular cover though. That's kind of cool. One eye at a time. It's probably better than a movie. Alright, next up is Laid to Rest. This movie's cool. Danielle Harris is not in this one, but she's in the sequel. This was really, really good. A masterpiece of mayhem and carnage. Alright, there's a lot of reading, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give it a shot anyway. Bobby Sue Luther, Kevin Gage, Lena Headey, Jonathan Scarich, and Thomas Dekker star in this slasher shocker that takes the killer in a mask movie and takes the killer mask movie and rips it a whole new future. A young woman wakes up inside of a locked case with no memory of who she is or how she got there. But once she escapes, the girl will quickly learn that she and everybody she comes in contact with is being pursued by Chrome Skull, an unstoppable maniac armed with a metal skull mask, a shoulder-mounted video camera, and a ferocious appetite for slaughter. And the rest of it is just names. This was really cool. It's been a long time since I've watched this movie, but that character of Chrome Skull was really cool. I dug the camera on his shoulder. I remember this being very stylish, I guess is the best way. I don't think I'd call it atmospheric as much as I would say stylish. It had its own type of feel to it. I don't want to say it had the same kind of feel as The Collector, but if I remember correctly, this came out around the same time as The Collector, and maybe that's why I have those two movies bouncing back and forth in my head. But I love The Collector, by the way. Laid to Rest is really, really good. Check it out if you haven't seen it. I don't think you're going to be able to find that unless you go on like eBay or something. Now that's got to be out of print. Nasty. And next up is the sequel, Chrome Skull Laid to Rest 2. This one does have Danielle Harris in it. The maniac in the mask returns, and this time he is not alone. After his gruesome encounter with the girl with no name, Chrome Skull has to rely on his assistant, Preston, to take care of business. With a growing taste for blood, Jesus, I shouldn't do this so late because my eyes are half not even working. With a growing taste for bloodlust, Preston slashes his way from one gory mess to another, not to be outdone. Chrome Skull resurges with a massacre of his own that is nothing short of jaw-dropping insanity. This was cool. That's the guy from like 90210. What's it? Brian Austin Green, something like that. What the hell was that kid's name? I don't remember. Did I read it? It's something like that, Brian Austin Green. Something like that. It's the damn kid from 90210. But this was cool. This is a very cool movie. I don't think it was as good as the first one was, but it was definitely pretty cool. Like I said, very stylish. Very stylistic. Oh boy. Don't make YouTube videos when you're tired. I'm getting out of here. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and all my ramblings, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that bell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. And thank you for watching. Later, folks. Have a good night.